Call this meeting to order. The Board of Education Pat-Med business meeting at 7:32. Would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the June 24th business meeting of the Patchogue-Medford Board of Education, the last of the fiscal year. In the event the fire alarm system should activate, please exit via any one of the marked doors. Proceed out of the building and away from the building. Please do not enter your vehicles and attempt to leave the property, as you may impede the arrival of fire apparatus. And smoking, vaping, and all kinds of other consumption of foul things is prohibited on school property and on public property within the state of New York. Additionally, when it is time for public to speak, we will be limited to 3 minutes per person with no sharing of time, and please do not address specific staff members or specific students. They should be taken offline with the appropriate administrator. Thank you.
Okay, moving along, we have no, number 6, we have no presentations or reports for this evening, so we're going to move on to number 7, where Brian Frascone is going to make his ex officio student member report.
Final.
Are there any more Frascones in the future?
There's one really cute one.
All right, let's see. This clicker's going to work the last time.
Come on,
Feel
man.
it.
Make it happen.
Here we go. All right, we're going to start with Eagle. Yes. All right, Eagle hosted a 415 students and family members for a celebration of cultures from around the world. Each class researched a country and created a project which was displayed throughout the building. They also had performances and food from around the world. Their theme for Moving Up this year was Moving Up is Sweet. And Eagle also held a field day, which we have a video from their opening ceremony. It's quite funny. And we also have a video from their kindergarten end of the year show. So we're going to start with field day. This is some pictures.
Poor Sean.
She's getting that.
I guess she lost. It's all right. It was great. The shark's like a fish out of water.
We're gonna have a like.
Motion like the movie. What movie is it?
All right, now the kindergarten end of the year show. Alrighty, that's all for Eagle. South Ocean, however, South Ocean had their 8th grade dance and barbecue. They also took part for the end of the year in the Cornell Cooperative Relief K-12 tree planting program, where they had all grades participate in planting new trees outside the front of the building. And then this is some pictures from the barbecue. Moving on to Canaan. Canaan Elementary School welcomed the ALS Ride for Life with cheers and supportive posters. Their Glee Club performed at Canaan Palooza. Mr. Epstein and his band also put on a wonderful show for the Canaan families. Then seniors from Patchogue-Medford High School walked through Canaan on their final senior day tour. At Tremont has a lot going on. So Tremont, in addition to another successful field day and a few year-end field trips, they've created a community mural in the cafeteria and completed STEM Week challenges. The Tremont Farm continues to grow each day with help from the Garden Club and volunteers from each grade level. They are currently engaged in an ongoing fundraising effort to support 2 Tremont students with severe health problems in grades K and 3. Their community mural, spearheaded by Mrs. Gold, allowed each student in the school to paint a portion of the world map on the wall in the cafeteria. Pictures of food students eat will now be added to the mural on their represented locations of origin. Although the painting is complete, this mural will continue to grow each year. Grade 5 will also be creating another mural related to this concept on Monday. They are starting a new tradition at Tremont. Each grade 5 class will leave a mural behind to beautify and educate students at Tremont after they have moved up. STEM Week at Tremont was another success. All students participated in their grade level challenges and learned valuable lessons about science and engineering. Grade 5 launched their student-built rockets in the courtyard with help from their teachers, and all grades learned how to use basic tools and how to incorporate various aspects of design. This is some STEM Week pictures, and then here's the community mural. And then in Medford held a national circus project, which combines physical education with a circus skill. It allows children to explore these various skills and to hone in on one of their interests. The students not only learned the skills, but in 4 short days were able to put on a performance in which their scholars all participated in. And then that's all. But I have to say, as we all know, this is my final meeting as student representative on the board, and I have to thank you all for such an amazing year. It's something I'll always remember, and I have to give a special shout out to the general organization for providing me this opportunity and to have this position, and especially our outstanding advisor, Ms. Romani. She is truly the mind behind everything we do at the high school, everything that goes on, whether it's homecoming, Raider Bowl, or school-wide events and drives. I speak on behalf of my entire board when I say it couldn't have been done without her, and we are so thankful to have her along this way. And once again, thank you all. That concludes my final report.
May I? I'd like to commend you, Brian, for doing an exemplary job in your role and truly reporting out throughout the district on all the events. You truly took it to the next level in so many ways, shapes, and forms, and we truly were proud of your work this year. Congratulations on a job well done. See you tomorrow, and best of luck as you open a new chapter of life. Congrats.
Brian, before you go, I would like to present you with this plaque. The Board of Education of the Patchogue-Medford School District hereby recognizes Brian Frascona for the service and the participation as ex officio student member of the Board of Education for the year 2023 through year 2024 school year. Presented on the 24th of June, 2024. On behalf of the board, Dr. Jones and I,
I got 725.2.
What are we supposed to have?
That's including
Those four positions.
those 4 positions.
So we should be fine. But we're still off.
Yeah.
Because I had, with those,
she probably has one already. Congratulations, Mr. and Ms. Fresco.
good job. Got some
Thank
good
you for
kids.
raising 2 fine children. Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to item number 8, which would be public comments on the reports, but it would only be commenting on Brian. Any-
And consent agenda item.
Okay. All righty, moving on to 9, the consent agenda. Dennis?
Nothing is pulled from the consent agenda.
Okay, so can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second? That was Kellyanne?
I'll second it.
Bernadette?
Okay, let me scroll down. The modified roll call tonight. Ms. Andrade?
Yes.
Mr. D'Onofrio is absent. Ms. Jennings?
Yes.
Ms. Krieger is absent. Mr. Salazar is absent. Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Negrin?
Yes.
The consent agenda was approved.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 11. There were no actions arising out of executive. So number 12, informational items. First reading of policies 5129, 5144, and 6156. And that moves us on to number 13, which is superintendent's report. Dr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening to all in attendance. There's not much by way of report tonight. We have been flooded with so many wonderful things that have been going on in this district over the past month that if I try to report it out, we'd be here a very long time tonight. But I did want to highlight what was going on with the scholarships that we gave away a few weeks ago to our I think it's almost 200 high school seniors. We gave close to $440,000, which is more than doubled over the last 3 or 4 years. So we're very proud of that. Giving the well-deserved money to the recipients was very exciting to see for the recipients and for the community paying it forward. So I wanted to publicly thank the community for their generosity on that evening. I also wanted to once again highlight the art and music department, as well as the athletic department that had a very successful signing night for both the art and music students as well as the athletic students. This is the first year where they combined the effort And we were very excited to see that evening as well. There's just been so much. The athletic teams so many of them are going postseason, and so many in the music department have achieved gold at status 6 with NISBA. We had the high school wind ensemble win gold with distinction at level 6. We had the high school symphonic band gold with distinction level 5. High school concert band gold with distinction level 4. High school choral ensemble gold with distinction level 6. And the list goes on for like another 10 categories where we either accomplished gold or silver at the levels with distinction. So very proud of the music department. In addition, Scott Zarki was chosen by SCMEA to be the guest conductor of the Division III West All-County Orchestra. Not only is this an incredible honor for Mr. Zarki, but also an incredible honor for our district, our music department, and the string department. So I could continue on and on and on with all of the accomplishments that our students are achieving in every way, shape, or form. It's a very proud moment for a superintendent, and I'm sure for a school board, to see all of these accomplishments. And we're excited to get ready for graduation tomorrow. Weather is hopefully going to be very good tomorrow, and we're looking forward to a wonderful evening. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Okay, we're going to move on to number 14, which are committee reports. Buildings and operations is my group, and we didn't have a meeting this month. I think we're done for the year, right, Frank?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Finance would be Mr. D'Onofrio, but he's not here, so Mr. Mazie?
No, there was no meeting since the last one.
Okay, so nothing on finance. District-wide technology, that would be Ms. Smith.
I think we reported on our last meeting at the last meeting, and we haven't met yet.
Okay,
Next year.
thank you. Extracurricular program would be trustees Jennings and Andrade.
All right, so they discussed how Mr. Krakow and Mr. Brinkman are working together on the policy. They will continue to work with it over the summer with feedback and updates, and then they'll send it out to the current members so that they can learn about it up to date. And then, yeah, it's the eligibility policy committee update. They already discussed that the policy is maybe put into place in November and December. And the goal is to have the policy brought for review to the fall.
Well, we already did that last week, we talked about clubs, so we can just go into the, so we reported last time about the clubs, and we were kind of talking about just different ways to have equity across the board for all different subjects. So each elementary school, each middle school has the same amount of arts, music, athletics, math, reading, writing, all that. So we have that across the board. So we're going to still continue to take a look at that for next year. And then we left off that we would like to start off in September with a questionnaire, student survey in September, grades 7 through 12, about the mascot search. And again, just to go over from last time, it was kind of something like a ranking order, 1 through 5, what's your favorite to choose. And to make it super clear, we're not getting rid of our name, you know, Patchogue-Medford Raiders, that's the same. We're just looking for a mascot for the high school. So the choices that the committee came up with was animal, military, pirate, Viking / Spartan, or a knight. That was what was listed here. If there's, and then there was do you have anything else in mind? So an open suggestion if someone wants to write something in. So if anyone else here has a suggestion to add before September, that's open, because hasn't happened yet. And then the idea was to go with the top 2 or 3 choices, then to move forward with a design process that could also work it into a logo, but the design process would happen from a professional.
Are you including alumni in this process at all?
Yes, but first with students to wean it down, and then the top 3 choices
I
then.
don't know whether I agree with that.
We'll talk to
The
Mr.
alumni have a
Mr.
lot to say about what
Greco.
happens in
Wait,
this
so we're
district.
starting off with students, then it will go to staff, and administrators, and then it will go out.
I mean, it's definitely still up for discussion because it hasn't happened yet. So
I
if
think we
there's,
should think about that.
if there's feedback, then we're open to feedback and we can relate it to Mr. Brinkman and Mr. Greco for sure.
Are we only talking about the high school? Because 2
Correct.
of our middle schools also don't have mascots. South
Well, we are
Ocean
doing
and
7 through
Oregon.
12, so I guess.
We were,
Yeah.
but I think,
Right now, it's just the high school.
Only Saxton has a mascot,
Yes.
as far as I know.
we all adopt the same
They're the only
mini ones. The same mascot.
So, just
Okay.
something to think about.
Okay, yep, we'll put that down. And then Mr. Krakow just wanted to make sure everyone's clear, we're not replacing the name Patchogue-Medford Raiders. I said that already. Is that it? That was it, really. And then obviously it's the end of the year, so we will resume
In September?
in September,
Actually, October.
Yeah.
All committees are disbanded as of tonight.
as of tonight. Well, and it is okay for them to continue to work on that policy. Is that okay with the board? Because
Yeah,
it
but
was,
you administrators working on that, that's fine.
they work, can they include the certain specific community members that had started with them the prior year?
I don't see a problem with that, but the committee's going to have to be reappointed in September or appointed in September to move forward. But technically, all committee work ends. at this
Right.
point.
Re-sign up.
So do they have to re-sign up for the summer, or can they,
There's no summer. They'll sign up in the summer to be appointed in September.
but,
Committees don't function during the summer.
right. So if they wanted to
But-
continue
But
policy.
if Nate
right.
and Anthony want to work with certain members of the community over the course of the summer on this, they're welcome to.
Okay, just,
Yeah.
okay,
But
got
it's
it.
not within the guise of the committee.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. All right, instruction and student support programs is Trustee Krieger and Mrs. Kennedy.
So we did have a final meeting where we shared out, the committee had the opportunity to talk about the first reading of the policy. I explained to them that I presented with the board. I actually had a meeting also following up with our teachers. I met with the high school staff just to get some additional feedback on the policy. So I will be recommending some changes as a result of the instructional committee, in addition to meeting with the teachers, some minor tweaks to the policy that will be on our July agenda. So I got feedback from the high school. There were some things that I thought were valid concerns. One, moving labs to be more formative assessments. We did not have that listed, so we're going to move that. We also talked about participation grades. We had that going. Maybe it will be every 10 days versus 4 times within a quarter, so there was a little tweak there. There were some recommendations to maybe having more specific criteria for when work is late, so there's consistency. If late work gets sent in, that there's a consistent policy about how much can be deducted from a child's work, consistent within a course. That the teachers felt that was necessary, so there wasn't discrepancies there. And we also talked about having some more language that really spoke about how many days late before an assignment is not even given credit. Like, what is the grace period? Of course, there's always extenuating circumstances, and the policy will indicate that. So those were some of the takeaways from the feedback. We also talked about long-term projects, the policy said that we wanted grades to be within not to exceed 10 days, but we added some language just to say that if there was a long-term project or essays that required a little additional time, we put some language in there. So again, some good feedback from our teachers as well as our committee at our last meeting. So I will propose those recommendations for a second reading for the board to consider for final adoption. And that's really what we spoke about at our last meeting.
Thank you, Mrs. Kennedy. And finally would be legislation, and that would be Trustee Smith tonight.
Hi. Legislative Committee hasn't met, but a wrap-up, kind of what we did do this year was we got some signage changed at Medford Elementary to make traffic safety a bigger priority, so that people can't make a left off of, I think it's Dahlia any longer, which was quite dangerous. So there's a no left turn sign there. We've talked about cell phone towers. We've reached out to the major carriers. I don't know if we've gotten any reply. But we've reached out to the major carriers because cell phone service in that area is terrible. So we're trying to see if we can get somebody to step up and help increase that. There's been some discussion around charter schools. There's some confusion. It's not confusion. There are two entities that can approve charter schools. We're advocating that only one of them be it, and it be the regents. Not Regents and SUNY. What else was the other one? The zero-emission buses is going to be a conversation for a while. As good of an idea they may be, the planning is not in place. The infrastructure is not in place, and there's going to be a lot of people trying to get them to slow down on the deadlines, because those deadlines are rapidly coming as to when we need to have zero-emission buses full fleets, or like starting any new buses acquired will need to be zero emission. Good idea, but badly executed. That's about it. Unless you can think of something else, Dr. Cohen, that I missed?
No, I think that was a good summary. We did get some responses from the cell phone carriers. We'll continue that conversation into next year.
Okay.
But they are looking at upgrades systemically, additional antennas on towers that may help, and some other they have some other solutions that may be a cost to the district, but they have some proposals that we'll dive a little bit deeper into next year.
Thank you. Oh, and we also do the hard work by business office and Mrs. DeLiva. We were approved for free lunches for the school district for the next, I think it's 3 years. And I think that's at the legislative level, they're trying to get that passed. The whole, like, for New York state law, which would be a great thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Smith. Moving on to item 15, discussion topics. There is one listed for this evening talking about recess being utilized or recognized as instructional time, and also field testing. Over the course of the school year, recess time had come up earlier in the year, and field testing came up a couple of meetings earlier from today. And what happened was we had conversation between Dr. Jones, Trustee Andrade, and myself going through a letter writing campaign, and the suggestion was made that we go through New York State School Boards Association and write a resolution. So with that being said, I reached out to Kathy Romano, who was our Area 12 representative for New York State School Boards, and asked her how to proceed with such a task. And she put me in touch with Brian Fessler, who's our Government Relations Department advisor with NYSBA, and with Pilar Sokol, who's the policies leader for NYSBA as well. And what they did was they told me what we had to do. They sent me actually a proposed resolution and bylaw amendment kit, where we put down what we would like to see happen and the reasons why. So I've already circulated a letter to our board about field testing, and I now have a letter for recess time, and I will circulate that tomorrow, and what I would like to do then is send both letters to Mr. Fessler and Ms. Sokol to get the process started. Is everybody good with that? Hello? Yes. Okay, all right, so that's that. Thank you very much for that opportunity. Moving on. Oh, sure, yeah, of course, sorry.
And then there's a couple of things that we have to be mindful of coming up to the forefront. I know one of them is, I know we got a letter and I can't find it, but what the, maybe the mandate of the excessive heat in the room. I know a lot of people are opposed against that. I'm almost positive that New York School Boards was opposed to that. I believe so, only because yes, they are, because what happens is, what they're saying is the reason why they're opposed to it is because when it reaches 88 degrees, the teachers and the students now have to vacate. And then where are we going to put them? I have the whole letter, and I guess I forgot it on my couch, sorry. But I know we got it in one of our emails, and I just can't find it that we got the letter, and that's how we printed it out for it. So if I can find it, if not, I'll scan it and I'll send you guys, because they are opposing that. I know the second thing that's probably, I don't know if it's going to come next year, where Governor Hochul might say no more cell phones in schools.
Yeah.
So I know that's something that we have to look at. Oh, so wait, you can have a cell phone, but it has to be a flip phone. I don't know why, but that's what she said. So I know that's something that, what's that? You could text on a flip phone. I mean, I don't know what the reason for the flip phone is compared to a regular cell phone, but I know that's something that may be coming starting the next year or so. And just to go.
I just wanted to say there's been a lot of articles about this, and this is something that Mr. Chulin and I have been talking about. So we know that this may be something that's coming this way. We're just trying to sort it all out, and we were having some conversations, so I'm glad to hear that it's being discussed in other places as well, because we do need to be prepared in the event that that does happen.
Yes, and then the other two things, I encourage everyone to go to the Board of Regents site, because the Blue Ribbon does have all of their PowerPoints for the pathways of the different diplomas and what they came up with what their decisions are, the graduation measures, so it'll be under that. And then they also have the Path Forward Literacy Instruction Initiatives for New York State that they're also talking about. So those are kind of two PowerPoints that I think are beneficial for the board to look at.
Kelly? I didn't get that.
What's that?
What was the second one?
The Path Forward for like literacy and science of the science of instruction of reading.
I can also send you I had the opportunity to watch the board meeting on the Blue Ribbon Committee. So I can send you the link also for the live presentation, so you can hear the presentation as well as, seeing the PowerPoint. So I can
put that
forward
in the
you.
update.
Yeah, I can forward you both of those. So it seems like, as you had said, there's some changes. Changes are coming. That's for sure. And I will say that they're really moving away from even bunching credits together, where right now it's very specific. You need 3 credits in this. They're looking to cluster them a little bit to give, I think, more student choice. They really didn't define that, but that's what I'm anticipating. That'd be like STEM courses, and those STEM courses can consist of a lot of different courses. So I think good things. I think it's going to take a minimum of 2 years, because it also ties into ESSA and accountability. So there's a lot of, I think, work that still needs to be done, but I think great things will be happening for students in terms of pathway options.
Thank you, Trustee Jennings. Okay, moving on to number 16, which would be community comments. Mr. Logan?
Again, you're limited to 3 minutes per person. I will warn you at 2.5 minutes and no sharing of time.
Okay, so we have no community comments, so we're going to move on to number 17, which is board comments. Trustee Smith?
Thank you. Congratulations, Brian. Thank you for everything. I wanted to address quickly the flip phones thing. The reading that I've been doing has been, there's a bunch of research out there now saying that recommendations are to limit cell phone, smartphones, specifically to ages middle school and up. As a whole, like we've broken our kids' brains by giving them cell phones and access to the entirety of the human knowledge too soon. So there's a lot of science. There's a lot of good evidence that this is a good way to go. There's also going to be a lot of pushback because we're used to it. So that's going to be a big conversation. So there's that. And congratulations to everybody. Thank you.
Trustee Jennings?
Yes, congratulations to Brian. Tomorrow's going to be great. And then congratulations to Teresa, because I know Sarah's graduating tomorrow. And then just to add on to the sports, our 4x1, they had gone to states and they did really well. They made it all the way up to the final and ran their hearts out. So that was a big accomplishment for them. So, and if you want, you could watch a really cool guy, Quincy Wilson, who is a 16-year-old who was in the final tonight of the 100. Wow. I mean the 400, sorry, the 400.
For the final.
He's for the finals of the 400. He does go to bowlers, so hopefully he makes it to the Olympics.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Trustee Andrade?
I just want to say congratulations, Brian, and congratulations to the class of 2024. Looking forward to graduation tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful night. It's always a beautiful day, so that's super exciting. And I'm thankful that Mark got the ball rolling for the resolutions that we're going to send out for recess as instructional time. I don't know if that, who knows, but it needs to be said and it needs to be asked, in my opinion, because I think recess is super important for our kids. 20 minutes isn't enough. They need more time to play. It could fall into social and emotional learning. So I've been very passionate about that for a long time. And of course, field testing, it's just another thing, not to put any pressure on administrators or superintendent, but to say to our state, like, hey, what are we doing? How much testing do we really need? We don't need to be doing that. We need to be teaching in the classroom and talking and having conversations and learning. So thank you for getting that ball rolling, and thank you to the board for looking at it, considering it, and being on board. So, and it was a great year. It's another year in the books.
Yes.
Reorg is next week, or 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Thank you.
All right. My final comments for 2024 is just that it was a great year. We got a lot done. It was successful in many, many ways for a lot of people put their hands into the fire and got stuff done. So thank you to everybody that was involved with all the positive changes. Looking forward to graduation tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful event. It's a culmination of hard work through a very, very challenging 4 years for this class. They were the ones that entered the high school in the midst of COVID. That's when they came in. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. And thanks for everybody for coming, and that's it. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Motion carried. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.